Welcome to the Saturday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Saturday morning. Sorry about that delay. Sorry about that. Let me make sure we got everything going. All right. Let me bring the co-host up. Are we good? Howdy. Hey Dustin, how's it going? And I think we just lost them. No? Hello? I literally think we just lost them.
My life just never stops giving.
Howdy. Make sure we got.
Man.
Yeah, you keep cutting in and out. You good? Now we can't hear you. I cannot hear you at all. We got lefty internet, I think. Hold on. Hello?
Hello.
Okay, I think we got you.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, it seems like my car stereo doesn't know what to do with the Discord call. I don't understand why it thinks it's any different than FaceTime or a phone call, but
Yeah, I don't know.
really digging this flattering camera angle I have going on.
I mean, it works.
I have had quite a morning, everybody. I just wanted to get up and go get some chicken nuggets and a baked potato before the stream. Then I come downstairs and my Jeep won't start. And my battery only had 4.9 volts in it. And I'm thinking, ah! When it rains, it fucking pours.
Yeah.
Wow. Gorgeous. Deuce Coupe just went by me. It's kind of funny, when I moved up here, one of the guys I used to work with at the auto shop, he's telling me, he's like, oh, you know, I hope you're ready to give up all the classic cars and everything, because when you move to Georgia, you're not going to see those anymore.
Lol. Yeah, right.
Huh?
Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I may not see them in the wintertime when it's fucking snowing, and nobody would be driving them in the snow anyways, because they're, say it with me fam, classic cars.
Yeah,
But,
right? That doesn't make any
I
sense.
just drove by 3 of them in the past 2 miles.
Nice. Hold on, let me put you up a little bit. Because originally it was like really loud. Let me put you up just a bit. Alright.
I can turn the microphone towards me.
No. Oh no. I think now we went just too hot.
Okay.
It's like I can't. It's like I can't. I get like right at the perfect level and then it completely goes off. Alright, I think we're good. Sorry about that, folks. It literally like takes me it literally took us a couple of seconds to get that because it wasn't working at the beginning.
Gotta say, I am more than a little sketched out to go stop at the grocery store and shut this thing off. I should have brought a second set of keys with me. But I'm an idiot sometimes.
Well, what happened? Like, is it literally the same problem?
I can't tell you. I have no idea. It acted like it was the same problem.
That's so weird because you just replaced it.
Yeah, Ed told me last night, or he told me this morning when I texted him to let him know I was screwing around trying to get the damn thing to start. He's, oh, well, I noticed the lights were on the dash yesterday. I'm like, you didn't say anything? It's like, well, no, I'm telling you now. Like, great. That's fantastic. So I went out, tried to start it. I mean, the lights weren't even on the dash anymore. It had drained the battery down to 4.9 volts, which is almost not a battery you can bring back at that point. And you saw I struggled for about 30 minutes trying to get it charged up and get it started to where it would charge the Jeep. So the good news is that I don't think I'm going to shut it off and it not start.
No
But
boy.
the bad news is that if this happens to me at the grocery store, which is where I'm about to go, you know what? Maybe I'll go to Wendy's first and I'll come back and go to Ingles. No, that's stupid. That's extra drive-in. But my battery can charge longer. Yeah, we're going to do that. So, oh man, an SS. Ah!
Nice.
Fangirling. Okay, yeah, we don't have classic cars here at all.
Hey,
We
Sir
don't have-
Yogi, how's it going? Howdy, howdy. Alia with the 10 biddies, thank you so much. How's it going?
So the good news is, I brought my multimeter. I brought my electronic box here for starting issues. Bad news is I need an outlet to plug that thing into. So I've gotten lucky in the past. One time I was on my way home from work, and this is how random it was the first time. But, you know, the first time also I had the original battery, and I think that it having this charging problem just absolutely destroyed the battery, and it just quit one day. I'm on my way home, and it's a 32-mile drive. I stop about less than 2 miles from my house, and stop at the liquor store. I want to get some whiskey. Well, I'll be damned if I don't stop and go into the liquor store. I get my bottle, I come back out. It was not even a 2-minute interaction. Freaking Jeep wouldn't start. Now, I had been carrying this thing back and forth to work because it had been randomly doing that. And at work, you know, I have extension cords and outlets outside the shop. It's not a problem. At the liquor store, looking around, I see an outlet. I don't have an extension cord. I went inside and I had to borrow one. Not so sure that, you know, that will be the case for me at Ingles. If I get stuck at Ingles, I am just going to have to lift my pant leg up a little bit and
Push
hope a
it.
good old country boy comes by.
Here's the thing though, like, could it be the battery?
No, it's a brand new battery. I thought before that, you know, the battery might have had a play in it, but oh, for fuck's sake. Everybody and their mother just pulled in front of me at Wendy's.
Yikes.
It's okay, more time for the battery to charge. I thought maybe the battery had something to do with it the first time, but the battery kept testing good. So the battery I think that I had would have lasted a lot longer if it didn't do all this other weird charging shit that it was doing.
Yeah.
But, you know, I replaced the ignition switch. The problem stopped completely. It didn't do it anymore. Then apparently it did it yesterday.
That's so
And
weird.
That just sucks, because if I had known that it was doing it yesterday, I would have gone downstairs and something I thought was kind of interesting. Oh, give me just a second, guys. I'm going to make my little order here.
Hey, Madame Defarge, how's it going? We're just hanging out with the co-host today for a bit. Wasn't quite sure. Wasn't quite sure what we were going to do. Wasn't quite sure what we were going to do today, but hey, I mean, not gonna lie, I'm super exhausted. Thanks for the shout out, of course. Of course.
I'm not gonna let you know how much food I ordered.
Oh, come on. We all know that it's something something chicken nuggies, something something.
Yeah, so?
I mean, kind of. We can guess that at least there's some chicken nuggies involved. At
I
least.
can neither confirm nor deny this accusation.
Howdy, howdy. Okay, so tell me, for those of you who are like hippin' and hoppin', for those of you who are like hippin' and hoppin',
Hippity hop.
yeah,
Just don't stop.
we made a TikTok, just like all the cool kids, right? Because that's what the cool kids are doing. And
Yes.
tell me how I have somebody in my comments making like the most wild comments. Hey Heat, how's it going? I'm so glad you joined us. I'm so glad you joined us. How's it going? Posted Whispers. Oh yes, I saw. I saw that Thinking Sabercat. I could have sworn I responded, but I guess I must have responded in my head. Yeah, that was pretty. Like, listen, I get like somewhat what he's trying to say, but like that was pretty cringe. Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty cringe. So what was I saying? Ah, yes. So we have some, like, we know, we did a TikTok, and we did one of the TikToks yesterday or the day before about how, like, basically, like, I'm at the point right now where I'm really, really frustrated at the lack of the people like have gotten in their heads somehow that Googling something for 2 minutes or watching 2 YouTube videos suddenly gives you like a degree in epidemiology or something. Like, I don't know, like people have gotten into their heads that when they quote do their own research, they arrive at like, I don't know, different conclusions than people who have dedicated their entire like livelihoods to this thing. And somehow like, oh yeah, me and my face group somehow managed to come up with stuff that people who have dedicated their lives to didn't. Like, okay, dude. And like we have like the most cringiest like comments being said, and like I'm not obviously like, you know, being too how do I say this, like being too ad hommy. I'm more being like very sharp with my responses. And I mean, like, it's just crazy what people will say. I mean, like...
So, like, let me be frank. We're not saying that if the top person in charge holds up a red paper and tells us it's blue, we're not going to say it's fucking blue. We will tell you it is red.
Yeah,
that's
like...
not what we're saying at all.
Yeah, but nobody says that.
Literally, these are people who literally have no factual basis for anything that they're saying. It makes no sense. They're not taking evidence and comparing reports. They're not doing shit other than sitting at home and listening to Fox News and Grandpa Joe on Facebook.
True.
Like, I don't understand.
Right. The only thing that should change, the only thing that would supersede what we know right now is new information, right? Like, that's the only thing, like, the only thing that, like, turns over known science is, like, updated science. I don't understand. This isn't a hard concept. And still, we're at the campground, still refreshed and ready for the day. Nice. I'm just glad you took the time to hang out with us, Heat. I'm glad you're here. So like, I don't know. I feel like we're like losing it.
A difficult truth stream of Heat isn't here.
Yeah, true. Like, I don't get it. This is like beyond me. Like, we're talking about like comments.
Not that we don't love everybody, but
comments like
some people are for every damn stream.
True. Heat is a real VIP, all right? Heat is a real VIP. I mean, like, we got like, and this isn't just like one person. I mean, like, this is a reflection of like how some of these people unironically feel. and it's like, oh, you know, I'm being forced to be vaccinated. This is a violation of my rights. I can't wear a mask because it is a violation of my rights. Like, you know what, dude? Like, you know what else is like a gross like violation of like rights is like you continuing to perpetuate and putting other people in danger. Like, how about that? Like, people don't understand, like, just because like your actions or sometimes inaction, the reluctancy to get a vaccine or reluctancy to abide by whatever latest guidelines that are put in place for a reason, affects others. In this situation, like, this affects others, right? It's not about you. I hear when I hear people talking in scientific terms, they obviously don't understand. It reminds me so much as a Christian woo fake scientist who put intelligent design as science. True. That's right. Oh, well, the thing is, like, Alio, like, these folks are not living in reality. You know what? I almost want to play that interview of Mike Lindell and Pac-Man. I almost want to play that interview. Maybe we'll play it. And it's like them
using those fuel points tomorrow.
Them crying about like something that the government wants to give you, bro. The government, all the government did was fund the research to private companies to develop these vaccines. The government had absolutely nothing to do with this in terms of like a direct input other than pouring resources into it. And furthermore, nobody's forcing you to put anything into your body.
Forgot what it
relax.
felt like to type a card. Listen, I'm so old. We used to have to put these on a slip with a piece of paper over it. Copy the card onto a piece of paper.
That's like, it's incredibly frustrating, just like
there. How about you?
where we have gone.
Don't mind me, I'm just here dating myself. I'm older than Google, guys. Hell, y'all might be too.
I'm older than Google. That's for sure.
Okay, you're not older than Google then. I am older.
Wait. Hold on.
I remember the invention of cassettes. I remember the invention of CDs. Those were like all cool. DVD players. I remember people used to have these TVs about this big. They'd put them in the car with the VHS player for the kids to watch.
I'll be damned.
Okay, so you're not too old, or not too young then.
8 tracks.
That's right.
Yeah.
I am older than Google. Oh my god.
I know we're older than Google. My sister reminded us of this last time we had her on the show.
Nice. Oh geez, you two are old, then I'm really old.
Before I can swipe it, sorry. Is that the third one?
It seems like the GOP and MAGA got Trump cancelled and fired. Make us by like Supreme Court Trump again? No, that's not how any of that works. Like, they can dream. They can dream. You are not older. I am 100% older than Google.
It's funny, you wouldn't think that we are, but
the question is how? By how old? So what we mean is
that is a trade secret.
So what we mean is by, like, if you look up the initiation of Google, you'll find out what, like, when it was initially conceived as a concept. Can confirm we are digital being. We are definitely somewhere older. Like, it depends, because sometimes we'll be like 10 years older than Google. Sometimes we'll be 5 years older than Google. Sometimes we'll be 30 years older than Google. Sometimes we'll be younger than Google. No one will ever know, and that's the secret.
Even with the Apple Pay? I don't know. I don't think they can. It's alright.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
So guys,
yes, I know it
hasn't been bad enough. Guess whose card doesn't work? Yep.
Wow.
I don't know. I think the what do you call it? The little. No, this. The card.
Oh, you're a Zoomer. I think. Wait, no. Hold on. I'm getting my stuff confused.
Now my card doesn't work.
So.
Just having a great time here.
You're older than Google.
It does?
Wait, you're older than Google then, right? Or am I getting this wrong? I was 16.
But everywhere else.
That's good to know.
I've done it here before too. Yeah.
You know what? Then I'm gonna go try that. Thank you.
Yep.
And those are awesome glasses, by the way.
Their goal, crush Yahoo, which they did.
If I can get cash back from the counter up here, guys.
Which they did. I was 18. Okay, so yeah, we are older than Google. I mean, like,
Oh, wait.
it's just a matter by how much, but we are.
Then I have to buy something. I don't need to buy anything.
Yes, we're gonna play that video.
I am
Thinking Saber
like a
Cat.
squirrel today. Don't mind me.
That's all good.
I don't do good.
So I'm
going
Gen
out
X thinking
public
Saber Cat, and I
anyway,
remember dial-up. I
let
remember
alone being
dial-up.
on the phone when I go out.
As then, okay, gotcha. I'm just sort of in that
Now let's
ballpark.
play the Let's Hope the Jeep Starts game.
All right, this is gonna be a fun game, folks. Hang tight. Today's stream should have been titled "A Life in the Day of a Life in the Day of the Co-host." That should have been like.
God, for real, y'all. This has been a nightmare.
I
Please,
remember
Gracie.
pre-internet. I mean, I remember dial-up. I remember. It used to be like really annoying. I remember I used to have to like put stuff to download overnight. Is that it?
It started.
All right.
Whew. All right. I don't have any trash.
Yeah, so I remember dial-up. I used to how do I say this? I used to permanently borrow music off of a sharing platform for sharing purposes, and I used to sit there and leave songs downloading for overnight because of dial-up, and I used to have to always fight with my parents.
I guess you can't turn.
Used to permanently fight with my parents because they would use the phone, and then I had to use the dial-up, and then we had to like push and pull. Yeah, permanently borrow. Yeah, we'll say it like that. It is a website.
You just haven't given it back yet, Carlos.
Yeah. It's a sharing platform where people can permanently borrow and share information such as songs, which is no longer in service. And it used to take like ages for one thing to download, and then like if your parents like picked up the phone and messed it up,
Oh, yeah,
man, that
you
would
gotta
be
start
so
all over.
horrible.
When you're sitting here trying to let somebody out of the fast food line and they're just there like stuffing their face with chicken nuggets. And I don't want to get mad because I am also that person, but goddamn.
That's funny.
Some people shouldn't be allowed to eat and drive. I really believe that.
Well, yeah, it's like the equivalent of like sitting there fiddling with your phone. Like
I
if
mean,
you
not to me. All right, look, I'm getting a chicken nugget. I'm still watching traffic coming both ways.
right, but some people like they can't.
Oh,
All right, hold on. I think I
my
can
God.
actually shift.
Original Chevy pickup truck just drove by.
Nice, but classic cars don't exist. Anyways,
Not in Georgia. They're all in Florida, don't you know?
they're all
Even
in.
though Atlanta has the biggest speed. But I can't even think. Guys, help me out. Speedway.
A speedway.
In the South.
Gotcha. You
No
look
big
young.
deal.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to, stay young. People in my 10-year-old car notice it still smells new. My secret: there's no eating in the car. Ooh, I break that rule all the time, Dustin. Listen.
Carlos can tell you when I got my first Jeep.
Oh yeah.
There was no. Oh, remember Miguel tried to eat in the. I lost my.
Yeah.
Nope. Well, listen. Now I commute to and from work, and if I don't eat in the Jeep, I'm not going to eat breakfast and dinner. So
Yeah. Like basically, my rule is this: everybody has a first pass to eating in the car, but if they drop a crumb, they lose that pass.
that's right.
So like, if you're
That's why I inhale my chicken nuggets in one bite, so that I don't make crumbs.
right, if you're like capable of being like an adult and eat your food without making a mess, then fine. I don't really care. But the moment like a crumb, like even a piece, like a speck of a salt, like a grain of salt, falls off that French fry, and if that grain of salt hits the floor, you lose your. you.
I also have military grade seat covers, so
Yes, I've
something spills in mine, and I don't have the carpet. I ripped the carpet out of this
Mhm.
already. So if something spills, I pull the drain plugs and I hose everything off.
Yeah, it's not a big deal for you. For me, it's
Oh wow! There goes a C100 pickup.
nice.
God damn, it's a good day for classic cars here. I tell you,
I've
classic
gotten
cars.
I've gotten seat covers, not military grade seat covers, but they are waterproof or water resistant. Like water won't go
Yeah.
past it, and it has saved me. And they're washable too, so it's like super convenient. And the mats that I have on the floor are also like very sturdy, like ridged. So if you happen to spill something, like I don't know, for that one, like
Yeah, it stays in the mat. a little
yeah,
bit. That's all well and good till you go to pick it up and take it out.
yeah. Jesus,
It's like
digital bean.
Most mats have a little hole that clicks down into the lock of the
Yes.
carpet. Now, see, since I pulled my carpet out, I don't have that. So I just plug mine up.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing will drain through it. It's nice. But, it's still like a whole thing. If you can pick it up, how are you going to get it out the door without... It's just get a wet back
Yeah.
shit out. Or get a towel, sop it up. You can wash
Yeah.
the towel.
I mean, if it's like bad like that, yeah, that's probably a good idea. The worst part of dial-up MMOs like Legend of Mir, where you gotta freeze 95% of a mission, you'd have to start that entire mission again. Well, like the thing is, I wasn't into like computer gaming, simply because like, well, I didn't have the and my parents never bought me like computer games or anything like that. Most of my gaming was like a Nintendo like
Oregon
Game Boy.
Trail.
Yeah, Oregon Trail, that's right. But you
That was it.
but you
And
would play that on the
RuneScape,
school
Oregon
though.
Trail and RuneScape.
Yes, but you would play that at school. That's how you would do it.
I got to bring it home.
So
But,
I would.
I mean, like we didn't get our first computer until I can tell you what year it was. Would have been 2002
Wow.
when I got my first computer, and it wasn't my computer. It was my family's computer.
Right. That's how it would start.
And it was such a big deal for us to get a computer. That was
Yes.
like our Christmas gift for the whole family. Nobody
Right.
got anything else. Like that was it. We got the computer.
I remember it was literally exactly that. However, we got it just a little bit earlier. I think if I remember, my family like 1998, I think, because I remember booting up Windows 98 on this old like tower, like dinosaur tower that was like bigger than like a cabinet.
Yep.
Yeah, but I never like played a lot of computer games. What I did was just like play the Game Boy, and that was it. Console king. Same. I became like more console based, but nowadays, because I have a semi usable computer, obviously for streaming and stuff, like I can actually play games. So I've been playing a lot of games on the computer. You never experienced the harsh capitalism, you tell me?
Yeah, now I'm starting to question when I got mine. Because I could have sworn that it came with Windows 98, and I remember putting Windows Millennium.
Yes, Windows Millennium.
But I could have sworn that I got it in 3rd grade, which would have made that at earliest 2002.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I just remember based on, like, the software. Like, I remember booting up Windows 98, and that was a big deal.
Windows 98, and it was a big deal
Yeah.
when Service Pack 3 came out. and
Yeah,
I remember putting that
yeah.
on there. So maybe I had it sooner than I thought, and I just was so young I didn't realize it.
Maybe.
I could have sworn it was 3rd grade was when I got it, but I might be wrong. It might have been earlier. Either that, or who knows, they still, how they sell some models with the old
Right.
program. Maybe that was the case. Maybe my parents saved money not getting it with... I'm not entirely sure. Shit, I'll have to ask my dad next time I talk to him. Not sure he'll remember though either. But
Yeah.
that was my first foray into electronics. That has sparked so much for me. I mean, I used to take that thing apart and clean it every week. Oh man, I was
Oh
like,
no.
that was my thing.
No, no,
And
no.
then as I got older, Carlos can tell you, building computers
Mhm.
don't matter to me. Any kind of electronics
Yeah, that's funny because like we
don't
kind
matter
of
at
went
all.
down that similar path. In fact, the computer that you use is completely built by yourself. You sat there and made it.
Yeah, I designed that back when Ryzen processors were very, very new. And I'd been an Intel fan my whole life, but when those Ryzen processors came out, you know, I went with the best technology that I could get at the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I believe it's a Ryzen. I can't remember which one it is
No,
now.
but once they came out,
2700. It's a Ryzen 7 processor.
once they came out
And
with the Ryzen line, it was pretty good. Like that was the pivoting point, I think, for AMD, where they really showed their
oh,
muscle.
it was.
I think so.
Before, it was definitely like a fanboy thing. Now, it is. I mean, I've been out of the game for a couple years since I've moved up here. I haven't been building computers. But when the Ryzen processors came out, and Intel couldn't touch them.
Yeah, at this point, I'd say it's not only, I think it's cheaper, but it's just better. In the 6th grade, I had a friend with a computer and a printer. She was so cool. Yes, me and my best friend used to compete like with who would get the better technology. Yes, Ryzen is recent. Windows 95 came with the Weezer video. I did not know that. Windows Compact Edition, Windows Millennium, Windows NT, the Windows Cement family. True, I used to actually have knowledge with Windows NT. But that kind of has fallen in my head through the cracks. My first console was a Dreamcast. My first console, like console, not counting the handhelds. My first ever console was the PS2, the first original PS2, back after a few years of its release, because like my parents would refuse to buy me any type of consoles at all. And it took years, and my first ever console was a PS2 after, like, you know, it was already like, you know, a couple years. Actually, I still have that PS2. It is still working, and I technically could boot it up at any point and play it, and it still works just like it did back in 2000, whenever.
I would say my first console would have been my dad's. My dad and I shared. I had Nintendo 64, I had Sega Genesis, and you know, I could have sworn there was something. Oh no! Eventually, we got a PlayStation 1, and that was, I think, the first
I
one in
remember
my
that
lifetime
one.
that he bought. And yeah, you and I used to play all these consoles.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, I was so like thrilled because I didn't have that. Like, I didn't have the PS1 or anything like that, and I didn't get to play some of those games that weren't compatible with the PS2. So I never got to play any of those.
Alright guys, I am at my favorite store, the liquor store!
The liquor store. The PC, the Master Race. Yes.
Hopefully
However...
hopefully this is not a bad example of living in a small town. I am going to leave the car running and I will be back.
Alright.
So, y'all watch the Jeep for me.
Alright, we'll watch the Jeep and this video.
Yes.
The amount of people who call me a console peasant, that's not very nice. Listen, consoles are valid, okay? I love playing my Xbox. I have had zero problems playing with my Xbox. I've always grown up around consoles. And I also respect the PC Master Race, alright? I get it. PC is phenomenal. But I'm not gonna knock down the consoles, alright? Consoles are legit. Heat with the tier 1 resubscription, 13 months. This was supposed to show up earlier? That's weird. Well, I see it. I see it. I see you. I see you, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. Wasn't rich enough to have Neo Geo. Third hand ZXC Spectrum. Ooh, you lost me there, friend. You lost me there, friend. How Washington State got rid of our liquor stores 10 years ago. We just go to any grocery store now. Wait, so it's already just sold in the grocery store? I mean, that's probably convenient. So it'd be like a Costco kind of deal. Where you can just literally go to the liquor section in Costco. I mean, I guess that's more convenient. Alright, let's see what's going on over here.
MAGA Congressman Matt Gaetz taking time out from what has been an expensive battle while he's dealing with accusations of criminal sex trafficking.
Xbox tests and series are priority with most mid-grade
as one does. If you're not also
PCs.
busy with your day job,
Interesting.
working for your
I might actually consider like you know, beefing up later at some point later on down the road. But as long as I have like the capability of as long as I have the capability of doing stuff here, and as more cross platforming happens, I don't know. I might like maybe give the Xbox One that I have for 3-ish years, maybe more. I don't remember when I got it, to my sister, and then like later on upgrade. I don't know. It just depends. Like personally, like if it still works, I'm good. Like if it still works, I'm good, and as long as I have like a PC that can cross over, I think it's like, I think we're good. I think we're good. The Series X have ray tracing and SSD. Nice. That's a massive improvement.
Yo,
You good?
I went in the liquor store. Tell me the man behind the counter goes, "Oh, you look nice and clean today."
Nice.
The fuck is that supposed to mean? I must be a dirty ass mess when I come in here.
I mean,
in his defense, I usually am. It's usually after work.
but like,
And just so you know, people don't get the wrong idea, I don't come by a pint of whiskey every day. I'll come by 1 or 2 little bottles.
but like, why? Was that like a necessary comment?
It just caught me off guard. He goes, "Boy, you look really nice today. You're real clean too." And I'm like, I haven't been to work in 2 weeks. He's like, "You haven't?" It's like, oh, that's right. You've been sick. Well, you look a lot better now.
Well, that's true. I mean, like, honestly, based on what you were describing last week and a half, something, yeah, like, this is like a 180 in comparison. I mean, like, I know you were saying you weren't feeling that well, but like, in comparison to you, like, almost not being able to breathe or not being able to, like, barely make it up the stairs, like, I don't know. This seems like a 180.
Better. I'm definitely better. I'm gonna turn the phone around so you guys can see my favorite road from the liquor store to my house. Carlos knows this road.
True. I have liquor delivered, no judgments. What? You can do that? You can do that?
That sounds like some city slicker shit right there. Somebody
but
come
not
move
even.
up here with me. Somebody come move up here with me. We'll start a business doing that. We will be so damn rich. We'll be swimming in gold.
Just doing deliveries.
I'm not kidding you.
I mean, like that. I didn't even know that was a thing. Maybe I need to look into something like that. The Spectrum you use as a TV monitor and cassette player to read the binary to run games by. It's true. It's basically as most people's Fitbit. Yep. Bree should have said, "Thank you for noticing how perfect I am." True. That's what you should have said.
I totally missed out on that one.
Yeah. Is that Lakeshore Drive? Sure. I honestly, I don't remember the actual name. I recognize the actual scenery, I just don't remember the name.
This is Old Fairview Road.
It's using this new video podcast format to take aim and settle scores with basically the platform that made him famous, Fox News.
Still good today.
Lol.
I have many friends still at Fox News, and I enjoy our discussions, whether they're on air or off air. That said, Fox News isn't what it used to be.
Single car bridge.
Yeah.
Certainly isn't what it used to be for him because he can't get on there anymore. And the TV-style banners reinforce the point. Fox News fails. Fox News isn't what it used to be. Shout out to writing the chyrons. Now, Gates has not been on the network since what
I
was
use a
a
phone app?
widely
Nice, I gotta
panned and
check that
bizarre
out, see if that
interview with
exists here.
Tucker Carlson. And that was all before Gates had appeared on Fox a record
I just got to
310
where I was
times.
drinking more than I wanted
It really
to.
made him famous and
And
got him
what
where he was
happens
politically
is
because
I
it's how
enjoy
Trump
it.
noticed him as well.
So I'll drink a
Now, like many
little, and then I'll
Republican
forget how
officials,
much I drink, so I'll drink a little more.
he was reportedly trying to get a job
And
at
you
Fox
know
if he
what?
left Congress before his
When
recent
I've got the
troubles.
little bottles,
Now, why are we
keeps me from
discussing all
doing
this?
that.
Because it is largely
Yeah.
Matt Gates, who, as I mentioned, denies all wrongdoing
Like I'll
in
just,
that
I
open
won't throw
probe.
them away till the next day.
He
I'll leave them
exemplifies
sitting
a
out,
certain
so I see,
kind
oh,
of lawmaker
hey, dumbass,
in the
you already
Republican
had
Party
two, you
who
don't
is
need no more,
ascendant
you know?
and who doesn't
Yeah,
just
yeah.
see media as a way to push a
With the
political
bottle,
agenda or
I
have a
just,
backup
I
plan
enjoy
if
it
his
so much,
political
I don't
career
really
ends, but
think
rather
about it.
Yeah.
that seems to be the goal of the whole
Especially,
career.
you know, I've always been in a
That
habit
means a
of
lot of
while I'm
trolling.
working, I've
Going
always
so far over
drank
the
and
top
smoked
that
while I
honestly,
work. Now I
it's
can't
exactly
smoke
what
at
would have
all.
seemed like
Yeah,
parody
yeah.
even recently in American
So,
life. Take a look at how
doctor
the
said
then
I could
character
drink,
of
so
Stephen
I'm gonna
Colbert
drink.
used to open his comedy show when he pretended to be a right-wing media
We'll
figure.
see, I'm hoping
And think about the character of
I don't
Matt
have to
Gates
go back
opening
to the
his
doctor, but I
podcast
think
now.
I might have to. Because the whole reason I got so sick in the first place is because I was a little sick and I didn't know it. Well, I finished all my antibiotics and stuff. And for a few days there, I wasn't having like any of that weirdness with my ears feeling like they were draining or my sinuses and all that. But I finished my antibiotics yesterday, and I noticed that yesterday I did start feeling like that again. Where it's like the kind of the steps that, or the, not the steps, the symptoms I was having right before it got really bad. So maybe I should be on antibiotics for another couple weeks.
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
I mean, like, I would say, like, do a follow-up, you know?
Yeah, and I mean,
Just
I'm
in
hoping
case.
that I'm hoping that I'll call and he'll just prescribe something. That way I don't have to go and pay to see the doctor again.
I mean, it doesn't matter, like, it doesn't matter. We could help.
Right.
Just let us know.
I know. It's just, you know, if I don't have to go back, great.
Yeah, I know.
I also don't like going back because they do COVID testing and all the other stuff
Ooh.
there. So, you know, it's a risk going to the doctor.
Yeah.
It is. It really is for me. So I kind of have, that's why I've always been not only just trying to keep the cost down, but all right, how worth it is this exposure?
Yeah.
Like before I went into the damn grocery store, I forgot my mask because I was all flustered about the Jeep maybe not starting. Then I get inside and I'm like, oh god, I wear a mask. Just try and stay away from everybody.
Yeah. Because, like, again, even if you're, like, fully vaxxed, like, you're not in a good you're in a, like, your immune system is, like, shot to hell.
Right, which is partially another reason why that downstairs problem is an even bigger deal than normal.
Yeah.
I cannot be breathing that at all.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. That's right.
I will get aspergillosis.
That could be bad. I don't know what that is.
Deadly infection when you breathe in mold and
Oof.
mildew.
Yikes.
Grows in your lungs.
Oh no. Ugh, that sounds... Yikes. That's really funny. I'll tell you the story in a second. Are you native Mexican? I'm not native, like, Mexican in terms of, like, do I come from Mexico? However, it's funny that you should mention that. My father comes from Guatemala, and
We need the photo, Carlos.
yes, I don't have it, like, on my thingy, but one of these days I gotta show you. But we did, like, one of those, like, DNA, like, analysis test things, and it turns out that, yes, so a lot of my ancestry is, a good chunk of it, anywhere from, like, 30 to 40-ish% is indigenous, and out of those indigenous folks, the majority of that does come from Central America, from Guatemala, the Yucatan Peninsula, which is part of Mexico. So, yes, actually... In a weird roundabout way, somewhere down the line, yes, I do have like ancestry, you know, in there. I wonder what Matt Gates' version of Twitter will be when he goes the way of Alex Jones. Who knows? I just assumed you were from Boston. I mean, yeah, I could be. You don't know.
No!
I could be. You don't know. Who are my ancestors? All of them. True. You can use a hair clip and use that as a.
Like any of the people I know from Boston. You don't talk like you're from Boston either.
I mean, give me a couple of weeks. I'll learn the accent. All right. I'll make it so that you wouldn't be able to tell. Nice, Digital Bean. So I'm right under that. You can use a hair clip and use your hair as a mask. No, no, no.
Yes.
I mean, yes, but no.
I don't need a clip. I could just stick it through the hole in my ear.
True. True.
Alright, guys. We're gonna take Acron to the mailbox.
Alright. I'm going to finish this video for 50 seconds-ish. Just watch 4 seasons of Cheers. I have no idea what that is. Is that a TV show? Hold on. 50 seconds, folks.
Did you just ask what Cheers is, Carlos? You did not just ask what Cheers is.
I literally don't know.
Welcome, my fellow patriots. You are in the right place. This is the movement for you. I'm a canceled
Are you
man.
for real?
Oh my god.
The internet. They aren't really coming for me.
How have you never seen Cheers, dude?
I'm just in the way.
I have to venture out into the world. Have a great rest of your stream. Stay safe, Madam
When
Defarge. I
satire
appreciate you
becomes
hanging out.
reality, is the joke on us.
Yes, yes. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. We love you all. We will see you in the next stream if you cannot stay with us to finish out this one.
Norm. That's right, Digital Bean. Mandia Lunar, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that.
We're just hours
Manolia.
away from my critical
Stuck in
deadline.
Whoa. Jesus.
You okay, Carlos?
Yeah, I just started playing an ad and like Nancy Pelosi's face just showed up. I was like, oh my goodness.
I want to see my poor neglected garden.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, it is a garden, that's true.
My cucumbers are gonna pull that fence down.
Oh, can you turn it sideways and get closer?
Cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe.
I'm in the Jeep. I'll have to walk up later.
Okay, there we go. That looks much better.
So, all this over here, these big things are blueberries.
Nice.
We have
Massive.
asparagus, kale. I have a bunch of peppers growing, mostly jalapenos. And my tomatoes are running amok because I haven't been out here in weeks. I just can't do it. And my eggplant just flowered last week, the first one. And of course, you see those cantaloupes. That's what that whole entire viney mess growing over my fence is cantaloupe. And there's the little pallet extension I'm building for the chicken coop, guys.
Nice. Earlier you were looking at the chickies. When you have a chance, if you can show the folks the little baby chickens. That's funny, thinking Sabercat. It is awesome. I'm very jealous.
We're gonna get out and I'll show you the chickens. What?
Ooh.
Burrito.
There we go.
You guys see these giant things?
Baby chicks.
Baby chicks, do 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 do, baby chicks, hungry chicks. Here's some food. Run away, but you'll be back super soon. Baby chicks, do do
no,
do
Digital
do,
Bean.
baby chicks. There we go. I just put down a shit ton of food for them, so they can get nice and fat. Look at them, little fatties.
Peep, 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 peep. That's so cute.
And here's my big hair for reference to see how big these things are.
Nah, they're so small. They're little floofs.
They're not small, they're giant. Hi. Come here.
He's like, oh no, 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 no.
Okay.
Run, chickies, run.
Let's see, they're starting to get feathers, guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is
He's
cute.
like, the fuck you doing in my house? Look at the feathers.
No. As a trained farmer, if you want great
When I got
plants
the
with not a
balls.
lot of maintenance, which you can be natural offense, see about getting bramble bush as blackberry are super tasty in pies. True. I don't know how blackberries grow here, but our blueberries are doing well, but I do need to get an extra plant.
Yeah, I
So
told
we
you,
can
you
get
gotta
more. Our cucumbers are getting huge. Our
Mine aren't even sprouting.
Hmm?
Mine aren't even sprouting.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Oh,
because
I
like
lied, Carlos. There's a sprout.
there's a sprout. Oh, there you
got
go.
it. There's one sprout out of 4 seeds I planted. I'm glad I planted 4 seeds.
Well, there you go. That's one out of 4. Ours, I think cucumbers do really well when it's super hot. Like, cause our little map, when the back of the seed package tells you that these are the areas where it would grow best, and it showed like our entire like half year was pretty good. So I mean, it's doing well. It's doing well.
My poor creeping jennies are dying. I don't know what to do with them.
We tried everything we could for lavender, and all of our lavender plants, save one who's like hanging on like by dear life. I have no idea if it's like gonna even make it. It is the only one left. It's on the ground, and if it makes it, then we might have a lavender plant. But like all our lavenders, every single one of them that we've tried has not made it. Oh, hello. Hello, little duders.
I don't know if you can, but if you could pull up the video I sent you of the one rolling around yesterday, that was funny. Look at him stretch.
Yeah. Aw.
You want to do it again? Do it again. No? You guys are horrible. Why don't you do any cute stuff when the camera's on? He's like, hi! What you doing out there? Hello? You can see him
Peep, peep.
scratching for food.
Peep, peep, peep. They're so cute.
They're making a damn mess. Look at them. Cannot believe these guys. Oh, I turned the camera around and he does something cute.
Aww.
I like how I call them
It-
he's and they hopefully are all she's.
Yeah.
Y'all better be she's. I don't know what I'm gonna do if you're all he's. I'm gonna go back to Tractor Supply and in a rage is what I'm gonna do. Alright. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't carry all this shit upstairs.
One thing at a time. What did you get again? Oh yeah, you went
That's
grocery
not how
shopping.
That's not how I roll, Carlos. I love how I was paying attention to showing you guys the chickens on my way in, and now I can barely walk in
Ooh.
this space. Pulled over too far to the left. Ooh, wheezy.
Jesus.
I know. Fucking horrible. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna carry everything. I hope we don't drop anything.
Alright, well, hopefully
Alright,
you don't.
I'll call you back when I get upstairs from the computer.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
'Cause this just doesn't seem like a good idea.
Mm-mm.
Alright, I'll call you right back.
Alright.
Bye.
Okay, so you all are stuck with me for a moment. And that is okay. You're something cool.
Freedom of speech.
Whoa. Yikes. This is how bad the California wildfires are. They can be seen from space. Yeah. That big massive fire can be seen from space. For more view of Earth from orbit. That's the bootleg fire. Hey Gmon, how's it going? That's unbelievable. Decent, that's good to hear. These wildfires are crazy. Unprecedented. Let's check out, see if we have anything here. Speaking of which, Xenoplanes posted this one.
For the amount of carbon dioxide released, with more weeks of the fire season still to come.
То есть не хватает авиации, не хватает отделений.
And Siberia.
Отделений. Людей не хватает вот этого постоянного мониторинга. Это все стоит огромных, очень хороших денег. Ну, по какой-то причине у региона этих денег в нужном количестве нет. Но это не только у Якутии, это у большинства регионов это проблема.
In the Russian Siberia region of Yakutia, more than 4.2 million hectares have burned, releasing more than 505 metric megatons of carbon dioxide equivalent since June 2021, according to the EU's Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Service. The fires are fueled by increasingly hot weather, and environmentalists fear they will thaw Siberia's peatlands and permafrost, which would release even more carbon that is held in the frozen tundra.
That's
the previous emissions record was set last year at 450 metric megatons for the entire fire season.
Just, you know, more very normal stuff. Very normal stuff. This is news from Canada's Florida.
But we are happy to break news out of Canada that the Daily Mail will not touch. None of the mainstream media is going to touch this. These propagandists are going to hide this from you because this is encouraging to freedom fighters, patriots who want to take matters into their own hands and stand up against this tyrannical, overreaching system of mandates that forces...
Mandates. Listen, this is the exact same, like, clown logic I got from the person, like, on TikTok attempting to seriously justify, Is this YouTube? No. I don't think this is YouTube. How's it going, by the way?
Forces you to muzzle yourself with an ineffective face diaper, socially distance away from your family, stop giving hugs, not visiting grandma, masking up your kids in school for 10 hours a day, possibly while you're exercising. It's
no, the horror. Guys, our freedoms are being eroded by being asked to be like decent human beings and respect science. Our freedoms are slowly being eroded as we're being asked to wear a mask. What state? What site? It's rumble.com. Ego time bomb, people are still trying to deny in reality? Jesus Christ. We'll check that out.
All ridiculous, but breaking out of Alberta today. Mandatory masking is coming to an end. Kids will not be masking when they return to school.
Oh, yeah,
Mandatory
that's right.
quarantine will be ending. Contact tracing, testing for mild symptoms. It's all done. They will now be recognizing COVID as a mild flu and treating it as such. Freedom has won in Alberta.
Freedom.
Proving that fighting does work. Joining us now is Patrick King, a devoted father of two, a proud Canadian. You were fined $1,200 for violating the COVID-19 Public Health Act for being in a group larger than 10.
Is Rumble like Gab? I don't know. I assume so.
Is what lit the fire inside of you, and it appears that you, sir, were a part of the efforts that we can now celebrate today. Tell us about it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me on, Stu.
Stu Peters, I'm not touching that.
On December 5th, we held a rally. So in Red Deer, Alberta, Canada.
Yeah, this is right wing. There's only one. And there's only one side being this completely like out of touch with reality in this case. Oh, he's Canadian, Sargon of Akkad. Gotcha. He's using all the same buzzwords too.
We have been known as the only city in Canada to hold the longest rally against all these government mandates that they've been putting in with regards to even our industries. I started back about 4 years ago. I'm an oil and gas worker, have been for over 17 years. I also hold a degree in occupational health and safety and environment. And when they started to attack our industry out here, I started getting a little bit more vocal. So we've held rallies on our streets with regards to oil and gas and this government that we have for over 3.5 years. And on December 5th, we were celebrating our 200th week of being on the corner on a Saturday morning protesting. And on that particular day, COVID mandates were implemented and they were going on for the last little while. And I was obviously targeted because of my voice, and I know this, and it's in the transcripts in the court. I was targeted and I received a ticket of $1,200. So I waited for my time in court. I ended up getting it on May the 4th finally, and I went into court and I produced some information that I needed to request in order to put up a good plausible defense. And my material that I requested was the isolation of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, and I wanted it isolated and not in a lab setting or in a PCR test, because we know the PCR tests, they're overspun. We know we're not stupid people. Right. We know we research.
Maybe he's a Limp Bizkit fan. I don't know. Limp Bizkit movie.
All of a sudden,
music
once
is good.
I deliver all of this, and I get told,
I think I respect.
Advocate for me and steer me in the right direction.
I respect what IRI does in terms of like electoral politics and his dedication to learning the ins and outs of how our governmental system works. I like that about him.
Direction, at which time she allowed me to subpoena Dina Hinshaw, who is our Chief Medical Officer of Health for Alberta, who basically, what my defense was to be was, I needed proof that you have isolated the SARS-CoV-2 virus, and that, therefore, the science would give you the backing for your public health act.
Which, in plain and simple terms, means prove to me that a pandemic exists. Prove to me that we're all going to die. Prove to me that this thing is raging out of control.
No. We're getting into we're getting into Candace Owens territory about like straight up just denying that any of this is happening.
And that people are dying from this thing.
100%. And if they did that, then I would be no problem. I would say, okay, you're right. You've got this. I'll put this mask on. Well, as soon as I subpoenaed her, I got an officer shows up at my door 3 days later. He says, Mr. King, I need your address. I said, oh, you mean the address you're at right now? Yeah, that address? Yeah, well, I need your email address. And I said, well, the same email address that's on all my correspondence with you guys and all this stuff? You already have it. Well, I need your telephone number. I said, you mean the telephone number that you call me on all the time? And he's kind of looking dumb, and he says, well, I'm just here to tell you that your court case has been canceled. I was like, this can't happen. You can't cancel my court case. And he kind of snickered. Well, I ended up calling the courthouse, got it rescheduled. And upon the rescheduling, I got it in. And next thing I know, I'm being subpoenaed by Dina Hinshaw's lawyers now on a Sunday morning at 11:53 in the morning at timestamped process server serving me this. In less than 24 hours, I had to be in behind closed chambers with Dina Hinshaw's lawyers and the judges. And I'm like, okay, well, this is odd. This is what's called a procedural violation. You cannot service somebody a subpoena less than...
I mean, I don't know how like the court stuff works in Canada, but I have a feeling this guy is like stretching some of that story.
24 hours before court. And I knew they were up to something dirty. When I got the subpoena, we went into court. I get into court the next day. I called procedural violation 100%. They said, yes, it's a procedural violation. I said, okay, Your Honor, well, let's adjourn it to Wednesday. And this would have been July 24th. And I would have been in court. And she says, no, we can't. I said, Your Honor, this is a procedural violation. And well, when that happened, Dina Hinshaw's lawyer spoke up. And she said, well, Your Honor, Mr. King is requesting evidence that we cannot give. And I was kind of like, what? And I sent you a screenshot of it. And in the screenshot, it says, the Chief Medical Officer of Health has no material evidence to provide Mr. King for his defense, which basically means everything that I requested in Schedule A, which is the isolation of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, that needs to be 100% isolated in order to base your scientific facts on these public health acts. You don't have material evidence for this. And they said no. And I had to reiterate again to the lawyer, or to the judge. I said, Your Honor, just for the record, I want it to be on the record, duly noted, that the Chief Medical Officer of Health of Alberta does not have material evidence I request. She says, yes, Mr. King, they did say that. Perfect. I lose the subpoena on Dina Hinshaw. That's okay, because what had happened is a procedural violation. Now, what they've done is the court system actually bamboozled me and sent me in the wrong direction, which is a violation of my rights as a Canadian citizen. I go in on the 24th, and I couldn't believe it. There are attorney general prosecutors from Ottawa in the courtroom. And now my statement says, no longer does it say Dina Hinshaw versus Patrick.
Yeah, that's why I said at the beginning, Liam Reagan, I was like, I'm not too familiar with how, obviously, I'm not familiar at all with how the Canadian court systems work, but me thinks there's some stretching of the truth going on around here. Hold on. Howdy. I think we got the co-host back. Hello. I wasn't even paying attention. Look at me. Yeah, I think it's a stretch, really.
King, it states the Queen, Her Majesty the Queen versus Patrick King. So now, where's my accuser? If the Queen is my accuser, I get to address my accuser. Well, lo and behold, they find out that everything I did is absolutely phenomenal. They can't believe it. I'll still remember the look on the faces. So I reiterate it again. The Chief Medical Officer of Health of Alberta, Ms. Dina Hinshaw, and AHS and the Alberta Provincial Government do not have the material evidence I request for the isolation of SARS-CoV-2. And when the judge said that, these two stenographer and a clerk just went like this.
My bad. Nobody was
and
here
their
before.
jaws dropped to the floor.
Yeah, they must have
And
looked
were
at the judge like, what? Are we supposed to type this?
Yeah.
Do you really want this on the record?
Anything?
Are you good?
Oh, now I can hear you.
All right, perfect.
I just need to turn you up.
Yeah, I got you at 100%. Yeah, it's a little bit low.
Okay, let me see.
Oh. Just a tiny.
There we go. How's that? Is
Nice.
that better?
Perfect. I think it's perfect.
Okay.
Excellent. Yeah, we were just going over a video of like some Canadian like dude who is like super stoked because what seems to me like the truth part, the aspect of truth that that this is based on is like maybe there was actually a procedural violation and now they're stretching that to mean like, oh look, we defeated the tyrannical government of Canada making us, wear masks or whatever. Like, I don't know. I feel like Jesus Christ, like
I cannot get over these people.
How like is it that we are literally in this position where it is a literal political statement to say that I'm not going to wear a mask, or it is a literal political statement that to say like I'm not taking this vaccine because reasons.
I mean, stupidity in politics You know, let's not get into how
that
sometimes
works.
one
True.
can perpetuate the other.
True,
but
but
that
like,
doesn't mean they're interchangeable.
true.
So just because you're too stupid to take precautions, that necessarily doesn't have anything to do with what political party you belong to.
Right, and yeah,
It really
fair.
actually more has to do with your own philosophy.
Fair, because
So
I
all
mean,
these idiots out here who think that you know what, this is all just a big lie, everything's a hoax. These are what we call subjectivists.
right,
folks.
because they live in.
These are people who live in a world where they truly believe that one person, and it doesn't matter what that one person is, but it is one person or a small group of people, that this one person or small group knows better than literally everybody else. And they can't do any wrong.
Right, and like the thing is, like, especially with like idolizing like political folks, I don't know, idolizing politicians or whatnot, I see where that can be a problem. And like, yeah, they're living literally in an alternate reality. It's just so frustrating because like, I understand that the overwhelming side, the overwhelming majority of like this, nonsense is being perpetuated. Aw, Bailey is obviously being perpetuated by like right wing, but like occasionally I'll scroll around on social media and I'll see like this like, like this lefty person saying that they're not going to take the vaccine because they have absolutely no idea of like the intentions of like big pharma, and they feel like because big pharma has like done bad stuff, which is the grain of truth, that is true, therefore they're going to use that one thing to stretch out and make a whole like argument to say that therefore they can't trust anything, and therefore like we shouldn't take the vaccine because big pharma is out to get us or something, like, which sure, I understand, like big pharma has done a lot of bad stuff, but I don't think that like that necessarily justifies that type of reaction, right? I don't think it justifies that type of reaction. Jesus, thinking Sabercat. Wow. Because they blame the devil to motor cars to deaths. Jeez, and God. Yeah, I get it. It's really ironic to me as a movie buff, but the 1976 award-winning movie network predicted so much of this stuff with media politics and corporate control. Yeah, yeah, I mean, like, see manufacturing consent. That's pretty much, like, yeah, that's pretty much it, right? The media and, media and politics and stuff like that, everyone is playing to their base, which is, yeah, that's how politics is done. But when playing to your base means perpetuating like just outright conspiracy theories, I think that's where we kind of like lose the plot, right? At that point, some of us are just not living in reality, and like that's astonishing. It's just astonishing when like a specific percentage of folks are just not living in reality. Is there not a ball of wool available for the cat? The cat makes anywhere its bed. Bailey just likes to chill. He will plop down anywhere. It is Saturday Caturday, so just to let folks know, we have fulfilled the Caturday part of Saturday. Everyone in society adheres to myths to some degree. I think speaking purely academically and not make a specific point about vaccines, everyone believes in some things that maybe or maybe not quite true. We'll do it because it's reassuring, or we'll do it because others believe it, or we will do it because we're scared of the alternative. I try not to be too judgmental about myths because I know that I myself will probably believe some of them too. I mean, like, that's a fair point, James Napper. I mean, like, that's a fair point. I just think that, like, if it's to the point where I mean, it's a matter of like public health, and it's like a matter of like, look, bro, we're trying to get rid of this pandemic. We're trying to stop it from spreading, because the more it spreads, in this case, I'm just using this as the situation. Like, the more it spreads, the more it infects, the more chances it has to mutate, and the more chances it, it circumvents the vaccine. Then we have to start all over, and then we're back to square zero, and it like becomes like a huge public health issue. And like, I think that it's just frustrating, because like it'd be one thing if like the myths or the stories that you believe in is like harmless, like I love, and some may even have lessons. Some are just lessons hidden in stories, right? And I understand that, and that can be useful. But some of these myths are just lessons hidden in stories, and I think that where we lose the plot is where we like just kind of use that as a completely others. And like, I don't know, I just feel like sometimes that gets lost, and it really goes to show just where we're heading when it comes to trying to take care of something like climate change. I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes we are so busy. Oh, this is incredibly adorable. So busy getting caught up in things that don't matter. And we're failing to see the bigger picture. You know? And it's really frustrating. I mean, like, I'm literally where I was arguing with someone who was like trying to tell me who's trying to tell me that wearing a mask is some type of infringement upon their freedoms or something. Like, I don't know. Look at those floofs. I'm still listening, so don't get any ideas. We're still watching cute animal videos. The first thing from IPCC comes out on Monday. Oh yeah, we gotta cover that, Mono. I think you mentioned that earlier. We gotta cover that. And it just blows my mind. I think that don't violate my freedoms, true. I think it goes to show how far gone this has gotten, to the point where like where we can't get it together to wear face masks or take a vaccine. How are we supposed to get it together to address climate change, you know? Oh my god, is this a baby porker? It's all Mono's fault, true. Aww. That is a very happy couple of porkers. Guinea pig. Oh, that's so cute. Alright, we've done cute animal videos because squeal like a piggy. I can't. Pigs are the fourth most intelligent animal. That's awesome. I know pigs are like super smart. Reduce methane or face climate catastrophe. Exclusive IPCC says gas produced by farming, shale gas, and oil extraction are playing an ever greater role in overheating the planet. Yikes. Cutting carbon is not enough to solve the climate crisis. The world must act swiftly on another powerful greenhouse gas, methane, to halt the rising global temperatures. Yep. Society has too many people picking sides. It's not irrational looking at the situation on sign. It decides the responsibility of positive action, benefit where all is necessary, relevant, and needed. Yeah. I feel like that's taking a toll on society, and I think that a failure to come from that is going to result in our in a very messed up in a very messed up situation. So mice, dolphin, humans, and then pigs. Nice. I agree with this. I agree with this lineup. I think that's appropriate. Methane to halt the rise in temperatures. Experts have warned. Leading climate. Yeah, like we have literally people supporting something. Blue-blooded Panther, thank you for the follow. Supporting something just because the I don't know, Senator X, Y, or Z from this party said it. And it's like, well, I mean, did you try to bother to check if it was true first? I don't know. It seems like it would stand to reason to try to like kind of think about that, right? Before it would stand to reason to think about a position before you support it, right? Like, I didn't come to these conclusions by following like necessarily a specific person or a specific I don't know, political group or specific like necessarily ideology. I took things from the stuff that I've read. I've took things from some of the people that have said stuff. I've taken some political positions based on what I've heard, but only because I understand where that conclusion was drawn from, right? I think that that's the difference, right? I arrived at the conclusions that I have because I've read, and then used that, theory to then try to look at this and look at that based on what I have seen. It's lazy knowledge following people, you think know what they're talking about, and one that would assume would have vetted them info themselves. Right. That's how we see people like the Ben Shapiros of the world come to fruition. They are, like pseudo-intellectuals that say a lot of stuff very fast and with confidence, and then and people believe it. That's the problem. And people believe it without a second thought and be like, hey, is this really true? Well, I mean, the overwhelming science tells us that this is indeed true. I mean, this is literally an international coalition of scientists, climate scientists, who are making comprehensive reviews on climate. So it would stand to reason that what they're doing is to be trusted, right? That's how this works. Leading climate scientists will give their starkest warning yet. We are rushing to the brink of climate catastrophe. In a landmark report on Monday, the IPCC will publish its sixth assessment report, a comprehensive review of the world's knowledge of the climate crisis and how human actions are altering the planet. It will show in detail how close the world is coming to irreversible change. One of the key action points of policymakers is likely to be a warning that methane is playing an ever-greater role in overheating the planet. The carbon-rich gas produced from animal farming, shale gas wells, and poorly managed conventional oil and gas extraction heats the world far more effectively than carbon dioxide. It has a warming potential of more than 80 times of CO2, but has a shorter lifespan in the atmosphere, persisting for about a decade before it degrades to CO2, which then still is a greenhouse gas. So, Durwood Zauki, president of the Institute of Governance and Sustainability Development and a lead reviewer of the IPCC, said methane reductions were probably the only way of staying while temperature rise above the 1.5 pre-industrial levels, beyond which extreme weather will increase with tipping points could be reached. I have a small feeling that a lot of these tipping points have already been. I think we have already passed that. I think that 1.5 Celsius is a pipe dream, based on the actions. I think 1.5 degrees Celsius is. I mean, it's possible. It's not impossible, but what is the likelihood of us being able to reach that goal of 1.5 degrees Celsius? I don't think that we will. Considering all our attitude towards the problem, considering our attitude towards the problem, I don't believe we will hit this goal. I guess it's possible, but the reality is, I don't think it will happen. I think that it's best if we continue to hammer down the point of it's stressing the point of, well, we're not avoiding any of this. We're not making any of the metrics we were supposed to make years ago, back before the Obama administration. Remember, that's where the whole Paris Agreement came. That's where the whole 1.5 degrees Celsius comes from. Was way back then, 8, 9, a decade ago, was it not? Almost 12 something years ago, maybe more. we're way past that. I think we need to stress that we're on this, that we are about mitigation and we are about adaptation at this point. It's not, we're not avoiding this. We're not. I think.
You guys gotta see this.
All right, show us. I don't think it's good to I don't think it's good to just think that that we will make it that we will make it to 1.5. I don't think that it's gonna happen. We don't even get a cool apocalypse. We get a slow and meandering descent into a worse world. Yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be very miserable, very bad. Lots of people are going to suffer unnecessarily.
Got your tail. Get your tail.
On this topic, I can't really recommend the book enough. Drought, Flood, Fire, How Climate Change Contributes to Catastrophe. In it, he talks about potential trajectories of the planet's temperature and which ones could be likely and how it will impact us through the weather. Yeah, I think that I have a lot of reading left to do. I think we're about 10 books in, so
Look at this, guys.
Sourcing support has given me
Carlos?
Ooh, yes. Sourcing support recommended me a good book which I just bought. Aw.
You see how huge he is?
Yeah.
That's like not even half his body, and it's bigger than my head.
He is huge. Well, again, we fulfilled the Caturday. Oh, that's so cute. Don't panic, Doom is coming. Yeah, Doom is likely. But as long as we still have that time on the clock, well, we've got to do what we can. I mean, that's really the only thing. I bought Darkness of... man, I forgot what the name of the book is. I have it on my shelf. So I've got that one to read. So that one's probably coming up next.
Squeaky.
Sound Being helps advise international orgs on how to preempt famines and droughts across the world. For example, he's helped provide a relief to famine in West Africa and warned the Australian government of the 2019 fires. Jesus Christ.
Tell him how you scratch the scratcher, Bailey.
Cutting methane is the biggest opportunity to slow warming between now and 2040. We need to face this emergency. Yeah, so like, I don't think we'll do this. I honestly don't know if we'll make it to that. But you know, it's yet to be seen. I mean, like, I guess we'll have to see.
To be determined, fam.
Yeah, to be determined, but I'm not confident that leaders, our leaders, not just here, but our leaders here will not take the step necessary to make that even a remote possibility. But we'll see. All through studying, the likelihood is low. Although studying temperatures of the oceans, basically, yes, the ocean is huge at it should be at the centerpiece, actually, about when it comes to climate change. I mean, there's so much involved with the ocean. So long, and thanks for all the fish. Yeah, I suppose so.
Ooh. Damn, I get out of breath just going downstairs.
Jeez. Cutting methane could balance the impact of phasing out coal, a key goal of COP26 because it's the dirtiest fossil fuel that has caused a sharp rise in emissions in recent years. However, coal has a perverse climate effect. The particles of sulfur it produces shield the earth from some warming by deflecting some sunlight. Jesus Christ. But that still stands to reason. Like, this seems to me like a deflection. I mean, it just has to, in any way that's possible, and as fast as possible, we need to just cut fossil fuels in every single way possible, and as quick in the most quickly, in the fastest way possible. That's just not. It can't be as part of one of the many things that we need to do. It just has to be done. That means the immediate effect of cutting coal could be to increase warming, though protecting the Earth in the medium to long term. Zaoki said cutting methane could offset that. Defossilization will not lead to cooling until 2050. Sulfur falling from the atmosphere will unmask warming that is already in the system. Jesus Christ. Mahavishna, thank you for the follow.
Appreciate everybody who follows.
I guess we'll give more resources to billionaires so they can get our asses to Mars. Lamau. Most of the methane is the warming of the Arctic. True. I believe permafrost. Well, I don't know if it's like specifically the Arctic. The thing is, like, there is a methane sink. A methane sink within the permafrost. That could be really bad. Should that start to, should that start to be a thing?
See, the one is plotting against me and trying to corral the others. That's why I keep coming down here and finding the one on top of the heater with all the other ones gathered around at its feet. Like, what the fuck?
That's cute.
It's not cute.
The main source is animal agriculture by fracking. Yes, that is true. If you look at methane emissions, they've gone up way faster than CO2. True. That is no. That's actually that's literally true. Like, if you look up, no. At this time, the main source of methane is literally animal agriculture and fracking, like fracking byproducts, right?
Okay, guys.
Oh, well, I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Here you go.
That makes a lot of sense.
Don't
Sorry,
you
dude.
fly up there.
The reality is, based on just scientific, like, analysis of what's going on, the majority of methane does come from the animal agriculture and fracking. We're not seeing the full effects of permafrost yet. That is a ticking time bomb. What you're talking about is only but a ticking time bomb.
Oh, hell no. You're gonna try and plot my overthrow with me sitting right here? Get down.
I mean, like, yeah. It's just the way it is. Climate change is like a marathon. We need to stay in the race. Cutting carbon dioxide will not lead to cooling in the next 10 years. And beyond, our ability to tackle climate change will be so severely compromised that we will not be able to be run. Cutting methane gives us time. Levels of methane have risen sharply in recent years, caused by shale gas, poorly managed conventional gas, oil, and meat production. Last year, methane rose by a record amount according to the UN Environmental Program. Yeah, so it's fossil fuels and animal agriculture. That's literally what it is. Fossil fuels between gas, shale gas, conventional gas, and oil, which is fossil fuels, and animal agriculture. That's literally what it is. Satellite data shows that some of the key sources of methane are poorly managed Russian oil and gas wells. Gas can be extracted from conventional drilling using modern techniques, but eliminate fugitive or accidental methane emissions. But while countries such as Qatar take care of methane, Russia, which is partly to the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement, has made little effort to cut its emissions, some of the leakiest infrastructure. More than 40% of EU gas is methane-heavy gas from Russia, which is worse than coal for the climate. Yeah, so the reality is it's alongside